Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T95 FV4201 Chieftain. It's a tier 10 British premium heavy tank, a reward tank for Clan Wars. It's located on the southwest spawn of Glacier, and this one, I'm going to have to say it, aren't I? Yeah, I really don't want to say it in the first 30 seconds if I can help it, because YouTube tends to punish you if you use a rude word in the first 30 seconds. Well, there's no getting around this. I'm afraid his name is MrGoodFocker. Yeah, it's a pun. Okay, well, the T95 FV4201 is one of the best tanks in the game. It's got an almost impenetrable turret and a 120mm gun, which is capable of doing 440 alpha, penetrating 270mm with standard ammo, and that's standard APCR, and with a premium APCR it'll go through 322mm. It is vulnerable on the hull. The hull's not quite as strong as all that. In fact, this is the T95 hull, which is an American heavy hull. Of course, the turret is all British, and so is the gun. Actually, well, technically the gun is. It's a British-made version of the 120mm designed by the Americans, I believe. It's either that or it's the one that's made by Royal Ordnance. And the American, there's the ST2 showing the front plate, but MrGoodFocker didn't want to show himself there or fire at him, mainly because of the reload time. The standard reload 10.07 seconds. He's got 8.15. Sorry. Now you notice he tried to fire back that ST2. Didn't get any joy though. Okay, now he's pushed around the corner because he wants to get at that, what is it? It's a 261? It's an Object 260 actually, funnily enough. Their reward tank, the Soviet reward. Okay, we just see the E100. Can we get a shot into him? Yes! 393 got through his front plate. And he takes out the 260 with his next shot. That might encourage the ST2 to come around the corner and do naughty things to us. But we're covered for that for the moment. You notice how he keeps flicking out of his sniper view to enable him to get all-round perspective. The 277 is going to hold that ST2 down now, and he can actually then have a go at the E100. I've got to check though, because there's a 60 TP a long way away there who might be able to get shots on him if he was trying to engage the E100. So I think he's going to have to be careful about how he does this. The E100 is ready for a side scrape. Oh, he did get the shot in, but he took one in the tracks. And the Cramvan on the enemy team managed to get a shell in as well. He's just around the corner. So he's got the 60 TP behind him as well. So there's layers of guns protecting this corner of the map. The 277 is still holding down the other corner. In fact, we do have somebody as backup now. I think he's waiting at the moment for that Cramvan to expose himself. Here he comes. He was obviously on reload. Tries to go for the hull, didn't get it through, and R277 has done something rash. Yes, he's changed corners. Or has he changed corners? There is another 277 there as well. So we've got two Object 277s, one either side of us. And another of our tanks has moved up. It's an E3 this time. He's trying to avoid going in through the front plate of that Cramvan, but he's also trying to ensure that he doesn't get hit in return. Ideally, he would go for the hull, and that's where he's aiming. His teammates aren't being quite as cautious. They're exchanging hit points. The E3, of course, has got the ability to bulldoze his way through and block the shots. And I have the feeling that he's decided he's going to follow up on the E3. Now, he can't do as much as the E3 with a 155mm gun. Of course, he's got 750 alpha. But he can use him as a mobile ramming, a mobile armor for him, a mobile shield. And therefore, he pops out like this and puts a round into the ST2. And I think the E3, yeah, he actually said thank you to the E3. Because he knows they're going to aim at the E3. And he's using him as armor. Tries another one. Okay, the E3 is just trying to get the right position. Oh, that was sneaky. Poke round the corner whilst the E3 was backing out for his side scrape and plonk one in. Now, can he go for it? Yes, he goes for another one. Now, this is going to be fun because he's not just blocking or letting the E3 do the blocking for him. He might be able to sneak out whilst the enemy's trying to shoot the E3. Oh, lots of shots there. Takes one from the 780. But now he can take the turret of the ST2. Backs up. Back into cover. He's got to be careful though, he doesn't drop into the water. Yeah, I don't think he was thinking about that. I was. Oh, great shot there. He killed the 780 and now they've got that corner. And I think he's now going to go this side whilst the E3 separates from him. Give him two targets to shoot at. Okay, there's the crown bar. Pumps one in, gets the kill. But there's an enemy E3. Oh, yeah, he got 2 critical hits on us. And, well, we fire one back to get 368 of that shot. Low roll into the E3. He's now up to 5.6k of damage. And he's got 3 kills. Okay, there's that 60 TP that we saw earlier. There is a 121, or was a 121B seen up to the left, but he's not there now. At least he's not shooting at us at the moment. And we're coming in underneath the 60 TP's gun depression. So he can't get at us at the moment, and now we can start pumping shells into him. That forces him to pull back. Didn't get the pen there, but it did warn him that there is somebody rather close. And now he's going to try and sneak up with this Rhinocerente to plant rounds into that 60 TP. Goes for the Capola and gets it. And potentially a high caliber now, 20% of the enemy hit pool. No guarantee though. And another one, and that's the kill shot. And here comes the 121, a bit late and $1 short. And now he's going to get permatracked. Yes, thank you very much. And yeah, he's trying to follow us, but no, he's out the game now. Oh, that wasn't nice. Not playing fair. The Minotauro and a Batchat 25 ton, long range away. I just saw the tracer from an enemy Arty. There's only one left in the game. It's an Object 261. We're trying to sneak round. Now, I'm not sure why he's capping, but I have the feeling he's trying to sneak up on those guys, force them to pop out so he can get shots. The Object 261 is to his left. Just going to pop round the corner and take his, claim his soul. There you are. Hello. Goodbye. Okay, now there's 2 enemies left. He's got 5 kills. He could get a top gun if he can claim one of them. You can see that one of them is fairly low on hit points. There's only a Progetto 65 there at the moment. But he has got teammates behind him who rather like to get there. There's only one left now. It's the Batchat 25 ton. He's a one shot. So he can claim the game if he can kill this Batchat. Should be able to do it. Very low hull armor. Hello! That's the game! And that wins the game for MrGoodFocker. Now, I must admit, I do have some interesting names for my accounts as well, but MrGoodFocker is one of the unusual ones that we come across because Wargaming didn't stop that going through, and maybe they didn't realise what he was actually saying, but there again, he got it. So he got an ace tanker out of that game, MrGoodFocker. He also managed to get a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 7. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, a top gun for getting at least 6 kills, he got 6 exactly, and he did get the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see that the highest damage was 6,659. Sorry, yes, I almost cheated him out of 100 hit points there. The second highest damage in the game actually went to the E3 that was helping him during that game, where he was acting as mobile armor. He got 3,506 hit points. And the third highest damage went to the Progetto M65, or Mob 4065, and he got 3,395. When it came to kills, yep, he got 6 kills. He was the highest scorer in the game. The next highest scorer was, in fact, shared between the E3, the Progetto, and the, what's this, Contracaro, is that the Minotauro? Yes, it is the Minotauro, who also got 2 kills. And when it came to base XP, yes, he's got that one as well. It's the only one to get over 1,000, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,491 went to MrGoodFocker, 915 went to the Progetto, and 883 went to the E3. Okay, fired 23 shots in the game, got 22 direct hits on the enemy, which is good accuracy, 19 penetrations. Only 4 shots didn't actually penetrate. 6,659 hit points in total, of which 368 were only at the only shells at more than 300 meters. 8 hits received from the enemy, only 3 of which actually penetrated. 5 non-penetrations and 1,410 hit points of damage blocked by armor. Yes, it's all about the turret. The turret is very, very strong. The hull is fairly weak, so you try to make the enemy go for your turret if you can, rather than your hull. And it's easier that way if you go gun depression, because it's got 10 degrees of gun depression. Bit difficult to do that on that corner of the map, because of course you have to, it's a flat area because it's a lake, and therefore you have to expose your shell, your hull rather. And the best way to shoot really is then do what he did actually, which is to find somebody who's willing to act as mobile armor and let them block the shells, and you just shoot past them to then get shots on the enemy without the enemy returning. He spotted 2 enemy vehicles, damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 6, and 1,522 hit points of spotting assist in that one. He earned 63,131 credits on a free-to-play account, and after repair and ammunition resupply, and he did use a fair amount of premium ammo, he actually came out of this with a loss of 52,498 credits. 1,491 base XP, times 2 for the first victory, 75 for this being a premium vehicle, but it's a reward one, so you don't get quite as much, and 3,057 experience points altogether. Let's have a quick look at the armor for this thing, because it's actually quite strong. You can see that the front of the turret is around the 350 mark of actual impacted armor, but it varies, and it's so well shaped as to make the shells effectively either deflect or bounce off, or they'll just block the shot because there's just too much armor there for it to get through. And it's mostly around the joint of the actual turret to the hull that you've got that strength, and it's so well shaped there. You can see from any angle you look at, it's kind of in a way to make the shell go in, gouge in, and then deflect off. So it is a bouncing turret. And a lot of the Soviet tanks have got that sort of cast turret, which does the same thing. This is a cast turret. If we look at the hull, though, we can see it's very weak. It's only 127 millimeters impacted armor on the upper plate and 152 down below, but you can see its effective armor is 225, and down below it's 250. So it's good angling. You can see again that great angling, which means that the shells are much more likely to deflect it. But remember, this is the T95 hull. This is the American hull. It's this turret is actually what it's all about, because that's the British hull, a British turret rather, that's actually designed to stop the shots. And of course, it's another one of those turrets where it's hoping you'll shoot at the turret, where of course the shell will get lost. You can see the sides of the hull are only 101.6, coming up to 127. The sides of the back of the turret is only 94. You can see again the armor gets stronger as you go around the front of the vehicle. I mean, it might be 350 right here at the front, but then it grades down to 260 to 215 to 175, 130, and then finally down to 94. So most of the weight, most of the solid steel is actually at the front. And of course, that's what you want to have front to the enemy. It's got spaced armor on the sides, which actually does improve its survivability. 5mm of spaced armor, but it's only 88.9 on the sides of the hull, and that means you've only got 107 overall. And on the sides of the hull here, it's only 88.9. Rear of the vehicle is only 48mm. Rear of the turret's only 35. But of course, the enemy, hopefully, is not going to be shooting at that at close range. Most of them are going to be shooting at long range, and they'll be missing. The turret is a weak spot, but it's a very, very small turret to actually aim for. It's only 94mm. Well, the top of the turret's 57.2. Very difficult to get, though. It's only a tiny, tiny little turret to aim for there, but that's the commander's turret, so yes, that's a weak spot. Let's have a look at the live version. Yeah, so you can see the lower plate is actually quite strong. If you angle, it does help in this tank, so angling is effective. And of course, if you're aiming, if I get this right, if they're aiming towards you, they'll angle and they'll just point the turret towards you, and then you can see you've got thick armor all over for the to block the enemy shots. It's only this weak spot here, the sides of the hull, that you don't really want the enemy to see. Okay, let's have a quick look at the modules. That's better. Driver in the center with 3 viewports. We've got the gunner on the left-hand side with the tank commander sitting behind him, the radio behind him, and the loader is on the right-hand side of the turret. We've got the ammo racks down below. The ready rack is actually at the driver's feet, taking it out of the turret basket and planting it in the breech. There's a deep store down just behind the driver. We've got the fuel tank behind the engine and just in front of the turret. So obviously they're trying to protect the fuel from the enemy. So it's got solid metal up front, so to speak, in front of it. The only chance the enemy is going to get is if they can aim accurately enough through the center of the tank to actually try and hit it. But it's got this big engine at the back. In the British tanks, that was actually a liability, the British engine, because it was a Leyland multi-fuel engine, and they had a habit of breaking down because they were multi-fuel. If they'd actually put a gas turbine engine in, like the Americans did later on in the M1A1, I think it probably would have been an incredibly good tank. But it was actually bought by quite a few countries. They liked the Chieftain because it was so effective. And subsequently, I think that's led to other countries actually buying British tanks further on down the line. Okay, so that's all the modules in the Chieftain. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. It was pretty good, actually. I'm considering he was having difficulty trying to get past some of those tanks. He used what was available to him, including that E3. And at one point, as I said, I did think he was going to drop off into the water if he kept sitting behind the E3 as he was backing up. There was a fairly good chance the E3 might back up too far and push him over the edge into the drink for an early bath. But luckily it worked. He was able to sneak out and take a shot whilst the enemy was lining their shots up to hit the E3. And so he was able to sneak in the kills that got him the wins, that got him the Top Gun. And then he used his armor to good effect to get across the battlefield, got beneath the gun depression of that 60 TP. That was a good move because he can't hit you if he can't drop his gun down on you. And therefore you could sneak up the sides and shoot at him into his sides and get the kills and win the game. So I hope you've enjoyed that game. Please give it a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.